Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Four Trained Savages podcast, episode number 247. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd. My name is Rob. Tyler, as always, is on the other end of the Zoom room. Recording in the middle of a series here because, as I was just talking about with Tyler right before, I will be heading to Fenway this weekend to go watch the Yankees play the Red Sox. And then also we've been taking a little bit of a hiatus, Tyler, because me and you were watching the New York Knicks win an NBA Finals. I actually went to the parade last Thursday, so it was a little busy, a little difficult to actually record last week, but we are here again to recap some of the games. Won't do like a full recap that we typically do. We'll kind of bounce around with some of the recent news that's been happening for the Yankees. They played this Red Series. They lost 2 out of 3 there. The first game last night against the Tigers, they lost that one with Garrett Cole having one of a lesser performance that he's had typically than we're used to. I always feel like he pitches a little worse against the Tigers at Comerica. I feel as though that's maybe a little bit of a bugaboo for him, at least from my memory. So Cole has a bad start last night, but we know that that's going to hopefully correct itself, and it's going to take him a little bit of time to get things into order. But at the tail end of June, Tyler, it's been somewhat of a struggle bus for the last couple games. We know for the most part they've played pretty solid in June. We want to hope that they correct it in the rest of the series, and then they have a 4-game set against the Red Sox this weekend that I'll be going to see on Saturday. So what have been your impressions of this last week? What have been some of the kind of standout storylines that you've seen as a fan, other than, coming off our Knicks hangover, I suppose, of this championship?
It literally is a Knicks hangover.
Yeah.
And Knicks have kind of masked a lot of Yankee talk, if we're being honest. I think that's, not an overreaction at all. One thing to note, Rob, the Sox stink.
You see last night that Colorado Duran in left field, and they don't
Duran
get Giannis, and they don't get Giannis.
That's funny. And you don't get Giannis, but yeah, main things with the Yanks, dude, is last night really felt like it kind of needed to be a win. I don't know, after having, a solid start to June, or more than a solid start. You dropped the last 2 in Cincinnati. You dropped last night in Detroit. I think it's just, you can see the Yankees have a lot of injuries, is kind of the best way to put it. Volpe's batting 5th or 6th every night, it feels like. Now, Volpe's been hitting a touch. But overall, the lineup is not doing necessarily what it needs to do. The pen is not there. You're kind of waiting for them to call up LeGrand. Hey, it seems like he had a weird spot start with Elmer when pushing all the pitchers back a day. So maybe that's just because of all the games they have this month. But Yanks are going to deal with a little bit. Like what did they win out of the gate from June 7th on? They won what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think they won 9 of 10. So expect the market to correct itself a little bit, is the best way to put it. This version of the Yankees is not wonderful. I think they're still a good team, though. But
yeah. No, they're clearly one of the better teams in baseball. They are still the best record in the American League. Right now, they're 2 games up on the Tampa Bay Rays. They got that 110 run differential. And you're right. I think what we're seeing right now is certainly that the injuries that they've had are showing. It's a long summer. There's a lot of months. We're going to see
catchers stink.
Catcher's situation is not
in a good
Sanchez
spot. Had a nice hit last night.
And now he's on paternity leave. They just announced that today. And then Austin Wells has now come back from his injury. But this is where we're seeing that it's a long season, and there's going to be the
Cabby's
ups and downs.
Not great in the outfield.
Cabby shouldn't really be playing in the outfield, and we'll
Dominguez
see how that
not
develops.
Wonderful and right.
And we'll talk about that for Dominguez and the defense or lack of defense that he's had out there. We saw a bit of a spurt from Spencer Jones somewhat, so he's played good defense. So there's a lot of different things to get into. We won't go through exactly the series. I think we'll go through just kind of the storylines and what we've seen. If this is your first time tuning in, make sure you subscribe on Apple, YouTube, Spotify. Go follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and all the different social media outlets. We'd really appreciate it. And if you want to, leave a review of what you think of the pod and leave a comment of anything that you think of this Yankees team that we're talking about. So this Red Series, they won the first game. Cam Schlittler, 6 innings pitched, 13 Ks, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks. In that one, it was a 5-0
most
win.
Dominant start too, which is good to know.
I think
in the last 6 weeks.
The takeaway there for me is until
Cam's
proven
fine.
until proven otherwise, I think we're looking at Cam Schlittler being the American League
Runaway
Cy
Cy
Young
Young. Yeah.
American League Cy Young favorite. He has looked absolutely stellar, and we are really seeing him blossom into potentially, and I say this potentially, one of the better. He has the chance to be one of the better developed young starting pitchers that the Yankees have seen. He has that kind of stuff that we can
Yeah.
eventually see him be one of the better pitchers in Yankee history just coming from the farm system, because we've seen many, many really good pitchers
And
on this
came
Yankees
out of nowhere.
came out of nowhere, and we've seen a lot of really good Yankee pitchers in their history, but a lot of times they've been acquired from other places. So Cam Schlittler being homegrown, funny enough, being a Boston guy, then made into a Yankees guy where the Red Sox had a chance to get him, but now he's with the Yankees. It's special to see, and at this point,
Hmm.
he looks like the best pitcher in the American League. He's a stud.
Yeah, I mean Cam since he's been in Major League Baseball has been a top three pitcher. I mean,
Mm.
up there with the names of anyone. So yeah, running away with the Cy Young. I mean, through June virtually. Cam's been insane, but I was just happy to see that because his last few starts were weird. He like clearly didn't have. He got um, pulled early in a couple games, like 5 1/3, 3 earned. Like
Mm.
Velo was down for a couple games, so I was good to see him come out and like absolutely dominate
Mhm.
like a solid team too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then game two, they lose this one 10-2. Will Warren actually didn't have a terrible game. What came about in this one was Ryan Yarbrough gives up 4 runs, but Warren went 5 2/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. Only runs in this one was a Goldie home run and a cabbie run in on a fielder's choice. And then game number three was also this was the point where they bring up Elmer Rodriguez to push back Garrett Cole's start and the rest of the starters, because we know that Garrett Cole, giving him that extra day to come back from pushing him back to avoid the 3 straight turns in the rotation on 5 days rest, is something that we knew that they were going to be very conscious of, and that's what they're doing
Mhm.
here. And well, I'm happy I'll be able to see Garrett Cole lined up on Saturday. So it makes sense why they did it, and having Elmer Rodriguez, who isn't exactly, I don't know what your impressions are of him, Tyler. He hasn't exactly been this
I
stud,
think
but
he's a project.
he's a project, and he's also giving them the flexibility to do this throughout the year until they get
Hmm.
other pitchers back, until they get a Max Fried back, and getting Garrett Cole in a more comfortable position. And that's essentially what they were doing. But in this one, they lose this 4-1. Elmer Rodriguez goes 4 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. So you're right, he's a project.
And
And
honestly, wasn't he? That was like kind of one of his better starts.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of like settled in for
Mhm.
once, it felt like.
And the only run in this one, Ben Rice hitting the home run. And then last night was the Tigers' first game of the series, and we'll see what they could do for the rest of the series. They lose that one 5-3. As you mentioned at the start, you want, after a disappointing series against a Reds team that isn't exactly any world beaters, the only runs that come in this one was Ahmed Rosario home run, Ali Sanchez RBI double, but he exited the game after being hit by a pitch. At this point, they put him on paternity leave because congratulations on the sex and everything like that. But Garrett Cole in this one gets hit hard. And we know it's going to take him time, even though he got that extra day of rest. We're just going to have to see him hit some struggle starts. And funny
Yeah.
enough,
I literally
Valdez,
sat on the couch last night. I was like, get it out of the way, dude.
yeah, Framber Valdez had a really good start in this one. 8 strikeouts, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits. And I think the funny storyline, I don't know if you actually just recently saw this. Everyone was going crazy over Twitter and online. You see Jazz Chisholm
Oh
chewing
yeah,
the.
the lollipop. I was watching it when it came on. I was like, is this for real?
So, what did you think of that? Because it just came out because Aaron Boone goes on weekly with the Talking Yanks guys, and actually there's a quote from it. We have to see the full context. I think they just posted the full clip up, but they posted the quote, and he said that pisses me off.
Oh,
For
Boone said that pushes him off.
Yeah,
Good. That's kind of what I felt like, honestly. And I
yeah.
usually don't feel like that.
I actually am on the opposite side, because I mean a lot of players will chew bubble gum, they'll
I guess if
do
you're spitting
dip,
seeds,
they'll
it's the
take
same thing, or
zins,
dip. Yeah.
they'll do seeds, they'll do all that. And I think it was just maybe because it's a childish candy and the way
And
that it's
because it's
looking,
jazz.
and because it's jazz. I personally wasn't bothered by it. I will say that I'm somewhat surprised that Boone would say that because I feel like there
Yeah.
would have been more instances where I'm like, this is an opportunity where you could be upset by it, but you're not saying you're upset by it, but the lollipop pisses you off. It's fine. I really think it's a big nothing burger.
It is a nothing burger, but I was like, this guy's kind of, we stink right now, but we actually don't stink right now.
That's
It's
what it
like
is.
I'm just being an old man on the lawn is what I was.
And you're allowed to do that at points.
Yeah.
I think I wasn't bothered by it overly, and I didn't think it was the biggest deal. I just thought it was funny that Boone would then come out and talk about that.
Yeah, I'm
But
happy to hear
actually,
that.
I wanted to spend some time on this because it is fitting that they're playing the Tigers. The Tarek Skubal rumors with Ken Rosenthal was reporting that, saying, I believe it was on one of the Saturday night baseball games, maybe a Sunday night feature, was saying that he believes that Tarek Skubal will be traded and the Dodgers and the Yankees will be among the most active teams looking to add him. We know that the Yankees and Dodgers are always going to be in this time period are going to be contenders. And if Tarek Skubal is an option, and usually this is an instance where I would be on the other side of the fence saying, I think the Yankees pitching is good. I think that they don't really need him. I think that they should go out and get a third baseman. They should go get a second baseman or
Hmm.
go get a third baseman, get a shortstop, get a catcher, fix the bullpen. But I will say, and I've
They're
because
gonna
of
get
the
Jeffers.
and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but because of the way the Dodgers have somewhat operated in these last years where they leave no doubt, they go out and they scoop up a player like a Tarek Skubal with an expiring contract in this year to help them make a playoff run, but they also do it because they don't want that player to go to another team. The one that sticks out to me, at least in the 2024 year, was Jack Flaherty, and then he goes out and he pitches against the Yankees in the World
Hmm.
Series. Thinking from that standpoint, I would not hate if the Yankees were very aggressive in going for Tarek Skubal. Obviously, he's arguably the best pitcher in baseball. So where I would be at one point saying don't do that, I think in this situation, especially in the Judge window, especially where there's somewhat of unpredictable things with the pitching staff as it pertains to Max Fried and as it pertains to Garrett Cole getting back.
Hmm.
If you have four of Max Fried or a four of Tarek Skubal, Garrett Cole, Cam Schlittler, Max Fried, that is like putting together a Diamond Dynasty team, like
Yeah,
a
I'm in on
creative
that.
a creative team. So it's nuts.
No pressure offense.
No pressure offense, but that's my impressions of these Tarek Skubal rumors going into the summer. What do you think?
I mean, I do think they'll be what's the classic Twitter word? Checking in. I do think they'll be checking in with the Tigers and I think they're going to see what the price is on Scooble. I do not think they'll give up Legrand or Lombard, and I guess I can't. I don't know if it's going to be just prospect. I can't. I don't necessarily blame him for that. I mean, Legrand feels like a piece of the puzzle this year in terms of like a bullpen need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think they're gonna. I don't know what Scooble's gonna cost for 2 months. Like I really don't.
Yeah.
Like, is that at your top prospect? Like, if teams are doing that, I think that's kind of crazy. But obviously, I would love Scooble. I do think, like, would I take Scooble over, Jeffers? I think so still. Would I take Scooble over a third baseman, knowing I'm not going to get a third baseman? I think so. I guess it just depends who that shortstop, third baseman, catcher is.
Yeah.
But the Yankees are going to make a trade. It feels like they're almost certainly going to grab one bullpen arm. I'd think maybe two guys that are currently on in the minors, Legrand and maybe like a Giovanni Cruz, and then like a Weathers are going to fix internal a little bit of the bullpen and bring one guy from the outside in. But I think Skubal is a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to anyone but a contender. So
I think if the Yankees pitching staff wasn't in the position that it is, where maybe it was much more depleted, then okay, could it be a time where you part with a top prospect? Yes, but
yeah.
as you said, because you're getting him only for 2-3 months, and then you don't know what's happening in 2027, and you know that Boris is his agent and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's alluring to me and what's attractive is that it would be a instance where they would leave no doubt and they would just be unbelievably stellar.
Which they never do that.
Which they never do, and I would
They
say
always
hey,
leave a hole.
that's classic Yankees, like classic mid 2000s Yankees that would say ho ho ho, oh boy, that is nice.
Yep.
But I think their eyes are likely going to be set on third base, catcher, um, maybe some outfield help. I'm not too certain on that, but they have a lot of different guys now. And then obviously the bullpen is a big thing. And I said to
Yeah.
you, if they bring in a Scooble, hypothetically, that does give them quote unquote the ability to push guys into the pen even more so, but then that gets funky because Rodon has been a career starter. So how is that really going to work? Is he
Yeah.
really going to be
Someone
that
becomes
comfortable?
insurance virtually for someone getting hurt, you
Yes,
know?
correct. So we'll see what the Scooble stuff develops, but that was something that's thrown out by Rosenthal, and I'm sure there will be more and more and more reports down the road. So we're just going to have to see. My guess would be that it's not going to happen and he will go somewhere else, but because they're playing the Tigers and because the Tigers at this moment in time don't look like the best option for, I think, well, I got to pull up their record real quick because I know the
They're
Central's
they're
now.
10 games. They're 10 games under,
Yeah, they're
or
six and a
nine
half,
maybe.
but they're still 6.5 back in the Central, which is not the greatest division, and the AL is good. Is the AL
No
is not
one's
great.
out. That's what's making this. I mean, this is what's happened with this new playoff format. Is
Yes,
like the trade deadline has suffered,
you
but
think you're out. Yes, the trade deadline has suffered. You think you're out, but actually you're still in. So we'll see what
I would
happens
love
with.
for them to get Scooble, dude. Like they never. The only time they've really done something kind of like to go all in, it felt like was when they got Encarnacion. Was
Yeah,
that
at
2018?
the deadline. Yeah,
Yeah, because they were like good. They were loaded everywhere, and they were like, and he was the home run leader at the time. But like they missed out on Cliff Lee, Granky, Flaherty, like you said. So go make the cool move.
I would love Tarek Skubal in a Yankee
Yeah,
uniform. That'd be
that would
pretty.
be great.
That would be pretty cool. Okay, let's
I think
transition.
shortstop is an option though. But yes.
Mhm. Let's transition though to the other side that probably seems like the move that's like the writing on the wall that we think is going to happen. Bob Nightingale, who take it with a grain of salt because Bob Nightingale is Bob Nightingale and has just throws things out. But he did say the Yankees have interest in Ryan Jeffers, who, as we know, is injured due to the hamate bone fracture in his left hand. But he is inching closer to a rehab assignment, so he's probably going to be playing pretty soon. And that seems, I mean, the catching situation now for the Yankees, we know, is in a bad spot. Even though
Yeah.
Austin Wells holds things down behind the dish defensively, the offense is not great. Ali Sanchez coming up. He's on paternity leave right now. We'll see how he does after getting hit by the pitch. And then they just called Escara back up today. So they're dealing with the same catching situation. And Ryan Jeffers, especially after he got off to a really hot start in this year. 7 home run. This is before his injury. 7 home runs, 26 RBIs, a 295 average, a 408 on base percentage, and a 949 OPS in 122 at bats. That would be a lovely catcher to have behind the dish. And
Hmm.
that's the kind of offense that they would need. And we don't know exactly how he would adjust following the surgery, and he's going to take time to get back, but it does sound like he will be okay to play at the back half of 2026, and he'll get himself situated. I would love it. I think they definitely need to acquire a catcher. They definitely need someone that can hit from the right side, which he does. And it seems like the move that a lot of Yankee fans are going to be expecting. And I don't know if you disagree or agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Jeffers is fits the Yankees trade deadline, kind of mold as a whole. I heard Talking Yanks throw this out the other day too. Like the Yankees like to trade for somewhat banged up guys. Yeah, I feel
It's
like
fair.
they did that with Bader. I feel like they did that with Jazz too, or like
Yeah.
something was like, and
He had
then
the injury the year before. Yeah.
yeah, and then I don't know. I feel like there's someone else as well, but they get him for a cheaper price. He's just going to be a rental. I mean, the only thing is there's not a lot of. He's one of the only what you'd consider, I think, valuable trade pieces on the market. So it's just like, what is that cost going to end up being? And I don't know. I feel like we know the Yankees kind of draw a line somewhere, but it feels like it makes a lot of sense. I don't think he's going to be a 950 OPS guy necessarily, but even most of his career, he seems like, just a pretty much a touch above league average hitter, which is very good from the
Yeah.
catching position. Um,
He's only
I
owed
think
si-
it
he's
happened.
only owned he's only owed about a little under $7 million. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent in 2027. He's got age 30 season. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
two
don't think
months.
it's going to cost something because it's going to be he's going to be a catcher is a competitive position to trade for. So
Like
there will be
I'd
other
send Elmer
suitors.
there.
Yeah, there's going to be suitors that are going to want to pay him, but I don't think it's going to be extremely lofty. It's just how willing are the Yankees going to be to compete for that offer. I just think that as we're watching this, and we talked about it last episode with the funkiness with what happened with Austin Wells, and now he's back and he was playing in rehab games. Also, did you see the video of him pretty much injuring George Lombard with the throw to second base? I don't know if
Oh
you said
yeah, yeah, I
that.
did. Yep.
So
Brained
that
like a
wasn't good to see.
billion fingers.
That wasn't good to see. I just believe that this catching position is as more time goes on, we know that the bullpen is what we sort of have our eyes on the prize in terms of the trade deadline. And then also, I would say right behind that, at least at the start of the year, was the third base situation. But we know that they've somewhat found out a cadence between Ryan McMahon and also Ahmed Rosario. But
Hmm.
I think as the weeks have gone on, we've said, "Ooh, this catching situation just keeps getting worse and worse if Austin Wells
Catching's
can't."
a black hole.
It really is. And
I
so
mean,
when
just
you
7, 8, 9's a black hole.
yeah. So then what you've always said, if you can hide one serious, terrible,
Black
unproductive
hole. You
player,
can
but
hide
then
one Austin Wells.
but then once you get two, and then if you're inching on three at times,
Yeah.
that's where your championship expectations aren't put to the side. I'm not going to say that because the American League is not good. You get in a baseball series,
You're
but
just a top heavy lineup
that's
that can
where
be
you can
maneuvered easily.
that's where you can be exploited. That's where you can be maneuvered more easily. So Jeffers, I hope is in the cards. I would really like to see him even after that injury. We'll see
Hmm.
whenever he gets back from his rehab assignment. But that's going to be one for the Yankees that they're going to be closing in on. I think so. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Jeffers is probably a very likely outcome. Third base does just get tougher.
Mhm.
It's like I don't know what you do because you just can't watch Volpe, Volpe McMahon Wells.
Yeah, left side of the
Can't
infield.
watch that.
Left side of the infield is just tough. Um, okay, speaking of shortstops. Caballero had a solid week this past week, but we did see, as we see him playing out of position, that is something that is not going to treat the Yankees defense very kindly. And then also Anthony Volpe going to give him props after going ahead and having that. I think he was like barely over a 500 OPS, but now
Man,
given the playing time. Today, Boone announced with the Talking Yanks guys that he will not be batting tonight against the right-handed pitcher. But as of now, 269 average, 752 OPS, and he did have a very solid week. I think he was hitting above 400, I believe it was, for the week against the Reds and the White Sox and everything. So Volpe's gotten it back in gear, so we'll see how that progresses. We have seen some low
just
lights
want to
as
see him for 6 weeks.
yeah, we've
I'm
continued to
sorry,
see
I can't. It's a
yeah.
10-day stretch, if that.
Yeah, we've continued to see some low lights in the field as well. Paul Goldschmidt continuing to look like an absolute beast. You just can't speak enough about like he was expected to just be a bench player, right-handed bat off the bench,
Hmm.
going to be in the I would say because even last year we were saying, okay, he's more of the starting first baseman, and then Ben Rice will get his opportunities. And then now it was transitioned to, okay, now you're just the veteran bat off the bench. But he's got a 900 or 898 OPS, 293
Crushes
average,
lefties.
and he's just mashing. It's so unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of wonder where the Yankees would be without Goldie. I mean,
Mhm.
he's literally carrying the team to some degree. It feels like, unbelievable signing. I mean, he's Paul Goldschmidt. He's an absolutely unbelievable, just like weapon to have from the bench. And with not having Judge and Stan and Goldie being able to virtually mask one of those guys not being here, has been massive. And I don't even
Mhm.
know if we've even touched on that. Stan's like. God knows when he's coming back. Like
I,
he totally re-injured himself.
yeah, we did not mention that yet.
Like September, like if that the season.
It's those hamstrings, man. It's those hamstrings. And he said,
The calf, I think, right? Or was it a hamstring?
yeah, so he tweaked his calf while running the bases the past week, according to Brian Hoke, and so that was the one that kept him out since late April. He was nearing the return to the team as soon as like what would have been, I think, this
They were
week.
supposed to come back on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Giancarlo Stanton is this is it's not it's he'll probably be coming around the time like when Judge is ready. I would not be
I
out.
mean, yeah, is there like, I mean, and you think, dude, if he comes back towards the end of the season, I mean, I don't think you just give the man
Yeah, if
a,
Goldie's hitting well, no,
I
you're
mean,
right.
like no way.
Yeah.
Um, or at least like plug and play type of thing. Like you got to get a role, my friend.
Mhm.
I also like just want Judge and Judge isn't getting DH when he comes back, I don't think, but I wish he would.
Mhm. The other topic that I wanted to get into with Spencer Jones was looking a little better. He's not the slash line isn't anything super special, but he was making an impact. I think it was one game he had about a 2 or 3 hit game. Has
With runners on too.
692 OPS, has the 2 home runs, got one of his home runs at Yankee Stadium last week. But the topic is like we said last week that we were debating between, oh, now as Spencer is playing better, is this a situation where because of his better defense, is this something that we could see for getting preference in playing time? Because this last week was really rough when we watched Jason Dominguez play the field, and they've been giving him more run in right field. Right now, Jason Dominguez around a 665 OPS compared to Spencer Jones's 690 whatever OPS it was. So, and I think the thing with Jason Dominguez is, Tyler, and this was always something I said when we would talk about his defense, it wasn't his lack of athletic ability. It wasn't his, like he's an athlete, he's got a lot of speed, but it's just an inability to take good routes to baseballs and
Mhm.
kind of a strong defensive intuition and a general feel for the corner outfield spots.
There's no general feel.
There's no general feel out there, and
Yeah, it
that
looks like he's playing right field for the first time.
that's why. And it's not as if, because if they're playing, maybe you would think, okay, put him in center field to give him a natural position of what
He
he's
has
played.
said that's where like he feels the best.
But now with Trent Grisham still out for a period of time, and also too, we're seeing, even as we have frustrations with Trent Grisham in center field, Tyler, you're seeing how
Yeah.
poor the defense can be if Cody Bellinger's not in there or Trent Grisham's not in there or even Aaron Judge is in there. You're seeing the fault
We're
of,
hurting without Trent,
yeah.
honestly.
So yes, I think Jason Dominguez he's an athlete, he's got speed, but when it comes to that strong defensive intuition and the general feel for playing in the outfield, it's just not there. And what we've seen from him to this point, it makes it really hard to believe that he's going to turn it around. He's still young, he still has a lot of time to learn, but it's just really hard to see with multiple instances, whether it's in left field or right field. And it's hard to then just say, other than coming into next year, if Trent Grisham doesn't return, to say you're going to be a center fielder. So it's tough. You're watching him out there and you're saying it doesn't look good at all.
No. I mean, he really doesn't look good in right. And he doesn't look great in left. So I don't want to get on him too hard because the Yankees have kind of like he hasn't been mishandled, but because of the injuries, he's literally taking his first reps in right field, like as we're playing baseball games, which is another discussion for another day. But yeah, I think Jason needs to hit a little bit more. The injuries are there as well, but yeah, you kind of just have to see how the next couple months unfold, which is a cheat answer, but it's like, I don't know, man. What are you going to do for me while Trent is still not here for the next 3 weeks and Judge is out for, however long? I mean, Jason doesn't look good in the corner outfields. I don't think Caballero looks good in the corner outfields at all. I think Spencer Jones has been fine, in the field. But it's a real kerfuffle right now, Rob.
Yeah, and so you're seeing it, even though we didn't love what Trent Grisham would do in the outfield at times, and how he would be maybe a little lackadaisical towards balls, or just not get to balls that we think were possible, especially when it came to some of the expected stats and
Hmm.
expected catch rates and everything. I do think it's a good competition now. We said it last episode. It's going to be a good competition between Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez. The numbers offensively aren't much different, but that's where I could see, and I think we texted between the two of us when we were saying that's where it leaves room for Spencer Jones to make more of a strong impression, and kind of earn a spot, because he'll show the Yankees that he can hold his own in key defensive situations, whether it be in a corner outfield spot or when he's playing in center field. We can just see that he has more of that defensive feel out there.
Yeah, he's a better defender for
He's a
sure.
better defender. So that's where I could see Spencer Jones sort of earning a spot over Jason Dominguez. But we've said multiple times, like, if you hit, you play, and that's also
Hmm.
something that Jason Dominguez can easily earn for himself. So it's a delicate balance, and as Trent's going to be out for, like you said, for a few weeks or however that injury develops, and we'll keep tabs on it. That it's gonna be a little competition, man. And I
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to see. I mean, they gave Cody like a DH day over the weekend in the Red series. I really don't want to see Jose Caballero out there, because you could tell that guy's meant to play in the infield.
No.
And then you're just gonna see what happens between Spencer and Jason. But talk about, like, when we were entering the season, it was, oh, if there's an injury, it'll be a chance for them to play. Well,
Yeah. Well, now you're here.
now there's
Yeah.
a lot of outfield injuries, and both of you are going to have to show something, and both of you are going to have to help this team avoid a end of June swoon and a July swoon. So that's where we're at.
They're getting it, man. I mean, Jason hitting two hole, Spencer hitting cleanup a couple games,
Yep.
Um, I don't know. It would make this all even more fun if Jason was like a righty dominant hitter and Spencer was like just, a lefty. I'd be like, dude, they just fucking platoon him all the time. But the one thing I have noticed with Spencer Jones, they do not want that guy facing left-handed pitching.
Hmm.
I think every single at bat is, even when he got pinch hit for um, the other day, it was like not a phenomenal reliever. And I think they pinch hit I think it was Max Schumann, and it was
Hmm.
like, dude, you can't give Spencer Jones the one AB against a lefty. So to me, that's I don't know. And maybe I'm reading too deep into it, but does that tell you kind of how the Yankees view him? Like, I don't know, you only can hit in situations. I don't know, but
Well, if you have a streak like Ben Rice, and then you prove them wrong, and then it's
yeah,
go. But
exactly.
it's just challenging
But the
because
Schumann's been great as well.
yeah, we got to talk about him in this conversation too, with just how they'll fill in. But yeah, I think it's maybe they're just gonna treat it as, you know, the I don't even know. That's just like they're
Just got to run him out.
just gonna run them out and see.
Yeah,
Like, that's kind of what they have to do,
yeah.
because and
Hope your
it
pitching
will
wins you a little bit in
we're
games.
we're yeah, hope your pitching wins you games, and then also uh you gotta toy around with what these younger players can do, and then see how they react. And that's that's how the summer's gonna go, and
Yeah.
we'll find out.
Be
Yeah,
interesting to watch.
talk about Schumann, Max Schumann, who has now been a plug in guy, and Aaron Boone has talked about a lot how they like him. Um, 740 OPS, nothing crazy, two stolen bases, three RBIs. And he's going to be someone that we're going to see a lot more of too, and how he's going to stick around, I think. And what have you, like, kind of saw in Max Schumann, and how he sort of fits, at least throughout the summer? And we know players coming back could impact things, but what do you think?
I mean, it's nice to just have another right-handed hitting infielder, I suppose. Not that you don't have that in Ahmad Rosario, but I feel like he just kind of makes shit happen, which is the best way to put it. I mean, he's got 9 walks and 9 Ks, so I like that. You're walking as much as you're striking out. Um, Feels like he's got a little bit of a hit tool there with the four doubles. Again, I kind of wish he was a lefty, so you could just platoon like him and Rosario at third, maybe, and like
Mhm.
McMahon. See, I don't know. But he's just a great little What's like a good version of him? Is it a shame to like he's our version of an Ernie Clement, or something like that. Um, right? Like you kind of just like do a bunch of stuff and he's
Yeah.
like been good until he's not, but he's been good so far.
Yeah.
So I'm all in on Max Schumann getting ABs over other players at times.
That's fair. That's fair. Also, just some news with the Elmer addition. Jake Bird was demoted, which is not,
Yeah.
I mean, something we could expect just watching some of
Yeah,
those
we haven't
earlier
talked about the bullpen.
outings. Yeah, you want to talk about what your impressions have been so far
Well,
on
I
these
just
last few?
mean that the Vol stinks. I think he's definitively a part of the problem, like not a part of the solution at this point. Warren pitched a little better this week. I still think there's an op like that still could be a thing of the bullpen. Um,
I could
but
also
I
see
don't know.
Warren maybe being included on a deal, depending on what the
Very
deal.
true.
I don't know what it could. He's looked strong, and
He's
he's
looked very
certainly
strong.
like we think of Elmer, Legrand, of just being because they haven't been on the team as consistently, but like Will Warren has shown it. He's shown that he could pitch a
Yeah.
lot of innings and give you some quality starts. So that's someone that yes, we may think is in the bullpen, but that could also be a guy that's traded.
Tim Hill, in a way, feels like he's coming back to earth. Similar as to how I felt Luke Weaver came back to earth eventually with the Yankees. Um, I just don't know how long this bullpen can last you through till August
Hmm.
is virtually all I have to say about it.
They're
Paul
calling it.
Blackburn's good shit. I like Paul Blackburn.
I can't. I'm just scrolling through Twitter real quick, and I can't believe they're calling it Lollipop Gate. It's nuts.
Lollipop King.
It's so funny, dude. Yeah.
But Duvall is really bad. He's unpitchable virtually. I don't know why.
Yeah, he talk about just a
Fernando Cruz,
disappointment.
great.
Disappointment. Yeah, Fernando Cruz has pitched really well. He's
Who'd
pitched
they just
really.
call up yesterday? Yeri, right?
Hmm.
Excited to have Yeri back, honestly. Feel like he should just stay back.
Stay
Like,
back for the summer. Don't let it. Don't we don't we need pitchers. We need a lot of
yeah.
pitchers, especially
I
now.
I do think Giovanni Cruz will be back as well. And it feels like I feel like Legrand is gonna be here soon.
My guess, I'm
And
gonna
when Freed comes back, weather's to the pen.
post All Star break. I think Legrand we will see
When's the All-Star break?
July 12th. I want to say
All
like
right, so
around
it's
there.
in 3 weeks. All right,
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
that's what
I
I'm
agree.
thinking. That's what
I
I'm
agree.
thinking.
Right before the deadline, I think.
Mhm. Well, they play two more games against the Tigers today and tomorrow, and then they play a 4-game set against Boston at Fenway. I'll be there on Saturday.
Gotta beat up on Boston,
I think
man.
you got to beat up on how, and especially, playing the Rockies and having that demoralizing loss yesterday. The Red Sox are just not, it's simple. They're
They
not a
stink,
good
bro.
team.
The
So
organization is not
the
good.
organization isn't flustered. You saw the tweet of like Rafael Devers did that whole stuff with the
Yep, that
Giants,
was
and then
a
you saw
fraud, bro.
Alex Cora quote tweet that with like the
Mm-hmm.
zip mouth emoji. Like the Red Sox are in a bad place.
Yeah,
So
they
and
are
we said
not
it
in a
last
good
time.
spot.
We said it last time when the Yankees played the Blue Jays and how it's just even though these teams and it's because the American League is weaker, but it's
Hmm.
just there's a lot of time in the summer. These are the series that are important. And even like you're not going to end your season here, but you could allow teams to creep around and get back into things where you can't leave any room for doubt. So let me just pull up what they have for the lined up starters because I know Cole is pitching
For Boston,
For Saturday. Yep. And so it's going to be excuse me, Schlittler on Thursday. So you're going to get to see Schlittler versus Early, a little rematch of that
Connolly early. Yep, game
wild
three.
card game. Yep. And then Friday will be Warren, and then Saturday the afternoon game will be Cole and then Rodon. So you got your guys. I mean, if you want to switch out Weathers and Warren, but you got your big studs.
Is Garrett
This is
Crochet still hurt?
yes.
Damn. Yeah, that team
So and
sucks.
you don't have to face him. So
Yeah,
let's see it. Let's
I
see
mean
it
he
this
was
weekend.
terrible before he got hurt too.
He was not good, and now the Red Sox suck. So you got to bury
Yeah,
him, and you gotta take care of business. So we'll see
let's
how
go
it
win some
goes.
ball games.
Let's go win some ball games. Take the good vibes that came from the New York Knicks, translate them into New
Yeah,
York basketball or New York baseball, not including the Mets. Keep them out of it. Did you see they're bringing back Modell's?
Modell's. Oh yeah, the sporting goods store. I heard that on a podcast
So
yesterday.
I said I think it's
About
funny.
time.
The Knicks revived Modell's, and now we need a Yankees
That's great.
championship. We need a
And then we're good.
Yankees championship run to get Modell's back to where it needs to be. When I remember when early 2000s, late
Yeah,
2010s, of when you're going and getting your championship merch. We'll see a parade from the Yankees, and this
let's do it.
it all starts and continues when you have these little series throughout the year. Get your division rivals, go take care of business.
Win the division, get the bye. I still think this team is good.
I still
No
think
reason
this
to
team is
freak
good.
out.
I
We're
think
just
this team
fucking
is
hurt.
good. They're hurt, but this is what tests you to then get to the
Yeah.
eventual place that you want to be. So,
We've learned we just need to be healthy by the second week of September. You know?
and then take it from there. Take it from
Yep.
there. That's it for episode 247. Make sure you subscribe, leave us a rate and review on Apple or Spotify. Make sure you comment below on YouTube, and follow us Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, all of those platforms. That is it for 247. Go win this weekend in Fenway. Go be strong against the Tigers for the rest of this road trip, and we'll catch you at 248. Peace.